Hey there. Someone that follows me online had questions about how I carve the notches and tabs for a locking leaded box. So I've just finished the turning of the base and the top, and I'm just about to do that now. So I thought I'd make a quick video. The next step is I have to figure out where on the base I want to put the notch. So here's a finished one, and you'll notice grain going up and down here. So this is important that I put the notch not on the side grain, but on the end grain. You'll notice I'm trying to match the coloration with the lid and the base a little bit here so that it kind of all goes together. But most importantly, I'm trying to match up the lid so that it's straight end grain with the base. See how the grain's going straight up and down there on the lid, and it's going straight up and down on the base. All right, and then arbitrarily, I'm just gonna pick that spot and make a little mark for where I want my opening to be. So you'll see I put those two little marks there. I'm now gonna carve away in between here. I'm also gonna give myself a kind of a lane to work in by using my finger just to start drawing basically a lane or a limit to where my carving will go. Right, so that's it right there. Now I'm just gonna carve that away. I should say that for carving, I like to use a very small knife, just so I don't scar the bottom of my bowl at all. So, and then basically since I'm going across the end grain, it's really just going to be kind of pulling across like that. All right, so you'll notice, right, I can just barely see that little reveal there. I'm now just going to take my pencil and transfer that space onto where the tab needs to be a little bit bigger than it needs to be. The other important piece is on the back, I also need another tab. And the way that many people do it is they make the back tab much larger than the one that actually goes in the notch. And that way you can't be confused with which side goes in first. A lot of this is just kind of rough prying and just removing material, wasting more material, and then at the end you'll refine the surface a little bit, but no sense in mucking about when you know you need to remove a material. All right, I'm just about done there. Just removing the nub at the top. All right, so I've got my tabs carved, and this is going to slot in here, and then I'm basically just going to be adjusting the size of my smaller tab so that it fits within this notch that I've created in the base. So I'll carve the length of this down so that it will actually clear into there. I'll also remove a little bit of the length on the corresponding large tab on the back, and then eventually it'll just drop in. I'll also have to remove, it's a little wide, the tab right here is a little wide to fit the notch that I've made, which is fine. I wanted to leave a little bit to work with, so. All right, so I've got it set right now, and this one I've done just about perfectly, so it's just gonna fall right in. Many times though, when you're messing around with this, the first time you jam it through, you won't be able to see where that notch is. And it's probably best that you make a little pencil mark at the top of your tab and at the top of your notch, so you know how to align things and figure out kind of where you started to begin with. But once you're done, this should just drop right in and it should spin all the way around. And then once this dries and the base and top ovalize, that spinning action will no longer occur, and it will lock as it turns. So that's the magic. So there's the box all finished up. It's got a little bit of play, and it will definitely spin all the way around. A little looser than I'm used to, so I'm very curious to see how this one turns out. I built in just a little bit of slop so that it would turn freely. Hopefully when it dries it will tighten up. All right, so a quick update on that locking lidded box video I made. So here we have that very same box. You can see the little pencil marks that I put on. I finished carving the lid handle a little bit. But now it used to have a little bit of slop on it, and now it sort of snaps together, and most importantly, it locks when turned. So this is not dry yet. This is only 4 days after turning, but it's ovalized enough to start to lock. I'll let it completely dry before I really start to do any other tinkering with it. The wood definitely changes as it gains or loses moisture. So you definitely want to let it really stabilize before you do any real final kind of tinkering. Sometimes the inner diameter of this lip here has to be expanded because the top won't fit within that a little bit. So sometimes I'll have to do just a little bit of carving around that edge. I also tend to have to relieve that corner on all my tabs, otherwise it binds as you try to open and close it. It'll catch right here, right there. So, yep, there you go.